let's go. So once again we are in Finland. How's the tour been so far?
It's been great. We're 4 shows in. This is our 5th show on tour. And so far, all the finishes have been great. A lot of great response from the crowd. We're doing all these old songs we haven't done in over 10 years that sound new to us. So it's kind of a new show. And we're doing covers and we're doing all kinds of stuff that we haven't done in years. So it's been a lot of fun.
Is there any new covers or something? What might surprise the audience?
Well, if I tell you now, it won't be a surprise, right? So,
we are not, putting this on air, but
until afterwards, but I can't say.
Okay, well,
I'm too worried about that.
Okay, we'll see. You have also been on radio DJ in North America. How's the rock doing nowadays?
I had a syndicated radio show for about 5 years that I stopped about 6 years ago. I don't do that anymore. And when I did it, I wasn't playing a predetermined playlist predetermined by someone else. I was just playing songs that I listened to on my iPod.
Yeah. That much.
It got too much to do on a weekly, like every week doing a new playlist and sending it off, and then someone editing it and you listening. It just got too much every week to do. So I stopped. So I don't really have an idea as to what's going on, generally speaking.
So you don't read papers or?
I do, but I read like very, very particular magazines that only have to do with, or blogs that have to do with the music that I'm interested in, not like a general kind of awareness of the rock scene. If I like a rock band, then I'm only into that rock band. I'm not really into the scene like I used to be. I'm still try to keep my ear to the ground as much as possible, but it's hard to do that and be in a band and touring and all that. You're really more focused on your band. I'm always getting turned on to new bands every week, but I don't know their placement in a particular scene or not. Like for example, just like this past week, I found this band from our own city, Toronto, that I'd never even heard of before, Dankoa, and I really like them a lot. But I don't know where they are in terms of my own scene, because I'm always on the road.
Yeah. Is there what you personally are listening? Is it much like Danko Jones' music?
Sometimes, but a lot of times I listen to, well, I listen to all kinds of music, but when it comes to rock and metal, well, I listen to a lot of metal, which is different than our music. I like it because I can't really play it very well. And I just like it. I've always been a metalhead, metal kid growing up. And then rock music, there's a lot of good bands these days. There's a few of them. But I don't know, it really kind of just has, I don't know. I can't really describe exactly what will turn my ears. I just have to hear it if I like it. And it's also a mood thing, depending on the time of day and what mood you're in. That's also when music can hit you. Like you can hear an album and not be interested in it, and then listen to it again maybe a week or two later and go, wow, well, now I get it. Now it's rubbing off on me. Maybe because you're in that different mood and you're more receptive to it than you were before.
So basically, it can be anything from A to Z.
Well, within limits. I mean, I'm not a real big new country fan.
Okay. So, is there some kind of influences when it goes to your live live performances? Because you are very hard rocking. And,
sure. I mean, there's all kinds of like performers who you can draw inspiration from. Like David Roth, Iggy Pop. Those are the first two that come to mind. But everyone from like Gene Simmons and Freddie Mercury, James Brown, and Prince. I don't know. The list is endless. James Hetfield. Even Michael Monroe. Like watching Michael Monroe perform, he came to Toronto about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. it was inspiring. You know, watching this guy who's been doing it for so long do it better than people who were just starting out. You know, was pretty inspiring.
Yeah. Is there or has there been any ideas to make something completely different than Danko Jones and or with Danko Jones? So, because you're very hard rocking and stuff like that, so so that's the basic thing. Lately you have been making good or great music videos with a lot of movie stars. How does it came out?
Pretty naturally. Nothing from us. We friends of ours, we've known them for a few years. Jason and Josh Diamond. They're in a band called Puny Human. We've played with them, and we're just friends with them. They wanted to direct Full of Regret when they heard it as the first single off our album Below the Belt. This is going back last year. So they reached out to us and they said, "Hey guys, we want to direct the video." And we already had a friend of ours pegged to do the video, and then one thing led to another, and they ended up directing the video. And we went on tour, we were thinking nothing much of it, and left them to come up with the treatment and the ideas. And they would just call us up, and while we were on the road or whatever, saying, we just asked Elijah Wood, because Elijah's friends with them, and he's going to be in the video. And then after they got Elijah, it just because it was like a domino effect, we were able to get Selma Blair. And then because Elijah and Selma were part of the project, we felt confident enough to approach Lemmy and Mike Watt. And Lemmy was in town recording the last Motorhead record in LA, so he came down and I'm sure Lemmy would have done it whether Elijah was in it or not. But we just felt more confident to approach Lemmy now that we had all these kind of Hollywood stars. Like, okay, this is going to be a big thing. Like, be a part of it. So it was cool. And Mike Watt, he's known for a few years too, and he happened to be in town as well. So we called him, and he was awesome.
Were there at that point were there idea to make a trilogy?
God, I can't remember. I think it was just the one video, and then when it came time to do the second video, I think that's when the trilogy idea was kind of hatched, and they just kept at it. Because while we were filming the first video, we just kept saying, how are we going to top this? We have the star of Lord of the Rings, and we have Mr. Ace of Spades himself. How do we top this video? And then I think I started the joke, just saying, well, we should get the Karate Kid to be in the next video. That's how we top it. And it wasn't a joke because Ralph Macchio was a joke. It was a joke because it was just so far away from our world. Like, none of us knew Ralph Macchio. We had no idea how to get in touch with him. And yet he's this like iconic star to us growing up in that time. We were just joking around, and then suddenly someone just said, I think Josh, we were having lunch, like kind of like a pre-production lunch meeting, and Josh brought up Ralph Macchio again, and I think I was the one who said, no, are you serious? Can we really get Ralph Macchio? Like, let's stop joking around. Can we get him? And so they did a little searching, and we were able to get him.
Yeah,
and he was cool. He was so really cool, really nice guy. And he's gotten somewhat of a resurgence as of late, because he was on Dancing with the Stars in America, and he was on these Funny or Die videos, so in our video. So it's been good for him too, I think.
Yeah, and it ended up to you to beat the Karate Kid.
Yeah, we had a fight with him. We had fight scenes with him and stuff. That was fun. And Jenna Malone came on board too. She was one of the Hollywood stars who came on board.
Yeah.
She was in Sucker Punch, that movie Sucker Punch.
In general, are you a big movie fan, or do you watch a lot of movies?
Yeah, I mean, being on the road, you do end up, like, almost by default, watching movies because there's a lot of time to kill.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you end up watching a lot of movies. But lately, I don't seem to have enough time to watch movies or even TV shows. I just watch a few shows that I watch religiously, but after that, it only takes you 20 minutes out of your day. Sometimes it's easier. When you don't have too much time, a movie is almost a commitment.
Is there any other ways to kill time on the road?
Well, I mean, I write for, depending on the month, 4 to 5 magazines. So I always have deadlines, and I always like to be ahead of my editors by 3 months, so I don't have to panic and write something that's garbage. So I like to just keep writing ahead at a leisurely pace rather than a frantic pace. So I'm usually writing when I have the downtime as opposed to watching movies.
Yeah. So is there any plans for a new record?
Yeah, we've been writing for the new record since July, August of this past year. And because our drummer Adam lives in Los Angeles and me and JC live in Toronto, we get together and for a few days. And it's a very intense writing period because we know we'll only have a short time together before we all have to split up again. We get so much more done, I think, in that short time period than if we were to extend it over a month.
Yeah.
So it's yielded so many songs that we have to remind each other as to what song we were talking about. So there's over 20 songs. And we're going to record them probably in the spring of next year. But we also have a book coming out. It's oral history on the band that's already finished, pretty much, written by Stuart Berman. He wrote the Broken Social Scene book, and he writes for Pitchfork, and he writes for Spin, and he wrote the book, and he interviewed over 70 people for the book. And then there's a DVD that will contain the trilogy that they made into a short film from the videos of Below the Belt, and I believe an 80-minute or 70-minute documentary on the band, and live footage and all the videos and stuff. So it's going to be a pretty extensive DVD release, and then the new album. So there's a lot to
expecting.
Yeah, for 2012.
Yeah. And maybe when the record comes out, maybe we'll see back in then.
I'm sure of it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Right on. Thanks.
Yeah.